Hey everybody, Angelo here. I'd like to share with you one of the most important ideas that has to do with dating. And it has to do with the tempo, the cadence of dating, or the opposite of that, which is approach avoidance. When you meet people through hookup websites, through Grindr, Scruff, Growler, and typical dating websites where there is no supervision, where there is no facility, most people enter into approach avoidance. There's this strong approach while at the same time avoidance. And that destroys every attempt for a relationship because it breaks down the flow and the human connection is violated. And it's very difficult to come back from that. So when you're dating people or when you want to date people today, you will be confronted with the approach avoidance, the absence of flow, the absence of tempo. It's like with music. When music sounds beautiful, sounds exciting, it's a consistent tempo. You go 1, 2, 1, 2, and sometimes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, this feels good. The same applies to the beginning of every relationship that's dating. Remember, dating, it's either the birth or the death of a possibility of a relationship. If you stick to the consistency, if you have a tempo that stays consistent, it gives the other person, or gives both people, the most beautiful, the most effective pattern to give birth to any relationship or anything that's meaningful. If you don't have that, it introduces contamination, it introduces friction, then underneath that there's anger, underneath that there is disappointment, and then when people come back from that to restore that tempo, it's almost impossible because you have to have very strong emotional intelligence to dissolve your anger, or the other person dissolves his anger. And then there is all kinds of patterns of power play by introducing obstacles intentionally to punish the person for breaking the tempo initially, and then everything falls apart. So when you're dating people and when you want to date people and when you meet them on hookup apps, even though you might come across somebody amazing, like super amazing, it's unlikely to work because the tempo, the flow is not going to happen. There will be approach avoidance. There will be all kinds of introductions of obstacles to show that I am important or the other person is important. And there is power play that will come in and disrupt the process of coming together. And that's why with Big Gay Family Social Program, we have everything to prevent that. So it's very important that people interact with each other on a consistent basis. And if there's a breakdown of a connection, then people review that person, they send the review to me, and then in the coaching session, I deal with that interruption. And I ask about, what is the resistance? Where is it coming from? Why are you not allowing yourself to make yourself available to the other person on a consistent basis? Why is it so important that on one end you say you want a relationship, but then you introduce the power play? You introduce all kinds of controlling mechanisms and resistances that make this situation impossible to create a human connection. And this is so important. In fact, this is one of the most important concepts in all of dating and relationships. The consistency. That if you say, I want a relationship, but then you say, oh, I have dinner plans with a friend, you cancel dinner plans with a friend so that the consistency and the flow is maintained. And then the good feeling about the relationship can be protected. If there is dating situation and then someone says, oh, I have a dinner with a friend, oh, I have this with this person, oh, I have this with this other person, the dating is disrupted. There's an introduction of power play. Men usually want to punish each other. So this is for gay men, this is usually what happens. They want to say to the other, oh, if you say that you have a friend, then okay, fuck you, I'm going to have a friend next time too. And then that's how the whole thing falls apart. And that's why you have to have a third party that facilitates the process. If you don't have the third party to facilitate the process, you or he will introduce obstacles, resistances, even in a situation when you had a wonderful time together, the first date or the second date. So consistency, my friends, is the most important aspect of dating and coming together into each other's lives. You have to have this cadence, and you have to have a tempo. And if you want a beautiful relationship, like super beautiful, you want that tempo to be fast. Like you want to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, boom, I love you, you love me, let's form a relationship. And in most cases it's 1, and then 1, and then fuck you, goodbye, and you go back to Grindr, hook up apps, and nothing happens. That's what happens in most cases. Unfortunately, this is the outcome of a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointments that are in reality the reason why people introduce these resistances unconsciously. And the power play is there because of previous rejections, abandonments, and disappointments. So those of you who think that you're just going to meet someone and it's going to be beautiful and then it's going to work out, it's highly unlikely, because the world today has exposed everyone to so many rejections, so many abandonments, so many disappointments, that the cadence and the tempo is almost impossible to maintain for most men. Because someone will introduce an obstacle, will break down the tempo, and the whole charade of what did you do, why did you do this, and now I'm going to punish you for it, that's going to destroy the dating process. So I'm very serious about this. If you want healthy dating, it doesn't exist in the culture today. I'm just being honest with you. It doesn't exist. And if you want that healthy dating to happen, you have to go to private places like Big Gay Family Social Program, where we have understanding of this and we have protections built into the dating process. So when you're dating people, you are preserving the flow, you're preserving the cadence. You actually have the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I love you, you love me, let's fall in love, let's make something happen. The hook is maintained, the connection takes place, and then it's like a rocket that takes off into the sky. And we have proof for that in the program. Most introductions last beyond 3 months. Most. And just imagine, most of your interactions don't even get to second date. And in our program, 100% of all introductions go into the third date. And then beyond that, 90% go beyond 3 months or 6th date. So I'm inviting all of you to join us if you want that cadence, if you want the tempo, if you want beautiful experience of entering into each other's lives. We have that taken care of for you inside the program. Okay, my friends, good luck with dating, and hopefully I'll see you in the program. To join us, visit the website biggayfamily.com, and I'll see you in the program. Okay, my friends, thanks for listening. I'll talk to you in the next podcast. Take care.